Okay, I think we're live on Facebook too.
Yes. Okay, amazing. We are live everywhere. So let's get this started, guys. Welcome back to week 2. So we crushed week 1. We made it through. We are entering week 2. You know by now, I'm Ashley and this is Abigail and we are your hosts today. And of course, we're always super, super excited to be here. So we're pumped to kick off week 2 of the challenge. Let us know if you are as excited as we are in that chat box. And also maybe let us know how you're feeling after last week. Now that we know who's here and where you guys are tuning in from, let us know how the last week went for you. We're going to turn off our cameras so we are not distracting you before we jump right into things. Okay, we're good to go. So while you guys are letting us know how you're feeling, let's review our goal for this challenge just to get everyone on the same page. So by the end of this challenge, you will have created an epic lead magnet that attracts your ideal clients, a free challenge that nourishes your leads, and an irresistible offer that converts them into paying participants of your group nutrition program. Got it? So the great thing about this challenge is that you have our team of experts here at That Clean Life walking you through every single step of the way. And the challenge officially began last week, Tuesday, September 29th. We will be wrapping it all up with a celebration of your successes on Wednesday, October 21st. And every week we've got a live class. So the live classes are always happening on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place. If you're here, you figured it out. So last week was week 1, and we built a lead magnet to help you attract your ideal client. This week is week 2, and we are going to be showing you how to host a free challenge that will nourish those leads so that they will actually be wanting to buy from you. And then in week 3, we will show you how to convert your leads into paying clients, okay? Before each class, we send you a reminder email with the class link. It's the same every week. And we send you the class resources. So those are different every week. Make sure you check those emails. You might want to print out the resources before class so you can write down notes if you're a note taker. And we'll also provide you with a worksheet, which is going to be part of your homework assignment. After the class, you're going to get a recording so that you can rewatch it if you want to take in all the info again, or catch up if you missed it and couldn't come out live. And we'll also include a summary of your homework with instructions on how to submit that homework, as well as the due date, which, as you all know by now, is firm date. And if you aren't getting these emails, shoot us a note to support@thatcleanlife.com because you need to be getting them. So we'll make sure that you're subscribed to our list. And a reminder, so completing the challenge means doing your weekly homework, which has a due date. And like I said, that's a firm due date. We don't offer exceptions, extensions, none of that. So if you submitted your homework late, you haven't heard from us. If you submit your next assignment late, we won't be able to respond to you. If you send us an explanation or an excuse for why your homework is late, we won't have time to respond to that because we'll be so busy grading your homework assignments. So make sure that you have it in by that due date, okay?
All right, guys. So first, before we go any further, I would love to ask you guys who are tuned in on Zoom here, if you could change the little box that says "to" and make sure that says all panelists and all attendees. A lot of you guys right now are responding in the chat, which is awesome. We love hearing from you, but we want you guys to be able to see what each other said. So change that to all panelists and attendees so that everybody can see kind of what everybody's saying, because we're getting lots of awesome conversation happening in there. And hello to you guys tuning in on Facebook too. Say hello in the chat box. Give this video a thumbs up because we see you guys too. We haven't forgotten about you. All right, guys. So speaking of homework, we're going to name our 3 stars from week number 1. Now, before we dive into this, let me know in the chat box or in the comments if you're tuning in on Facebook, how did you find the feedback from week 1? Was it helpful? Are you going to make some changes based on it? I see lots of you guys saying that you did found it helpful. Okay, awesome, amazing. So a lot of you guys enjoyed it. So for those of you guys who have not received feedback, it is either because your submission was late, so it was after our deadline of 5 p.m. Eastern time yesterday, and If you didn't receive feedback, it could also be because you submitted us an incomplete assignment. So remember, guys, we're really serious about that deadline. We said that last week. 5 p.m. is the cutoff. And also that if your assignment comes in and it's not complete, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't provide you with feedback. So I hope you guys who submitted on time got your feedback okay. If there's any issues with that, feel free to email us at support@thatcleanlife.com. It sounds like a lot of you guys got the feedback and are happy about it. So let's move on to our 3 stars. Actually, no, Ashley and I talked about this before we went live. I won't get too ahead of myself. So we wanted to talk about some themes first before we get into the stars. So one thing I really noticed from reviewing your homework is that a lack of clarity from a lot of you guys. And that's totally okay. Clarity is something that it takes work to do. But if you got any feedback from us asking like, who is your ideal client? Like, tell us more, get more specific. Really, we really encourage you to take a step back and get clear on that, because without knowing who your ideal client is and the problem that you want your program to solve for them, it's really hard to complete a program and a lead magnet and a challenge that will speak to your ideal client. So that's first. That's why we had you outline all of those things. Was because we need you to have that clarity. So that's the biggest theme I noticed. Ashley, were there any themes that came up for you while you were giving feedback?
Yeah, definitely along the clarity lines. I noticed that the specific point that a lot of you guys need clarity on is what problem you're solving for your ideal client. And we have to think of this in terms of their symptoms. So we got a lot of, oh, I help people who are really busy and they want to eat healthier and they're just overwhelmed and they don't have enough time. But you have to remember that there's got to be a pain point that's going to make that person pull out their credit card and actually pay to work with you. That pain point is going to be a symptom. So when we ask you about the problem that you solve for your client, what we're asking you is really the symptom that you're going to help them with, because at the end of the day, that's how they're going to be measuring the success. So again, if you got that feedback from us about, can you get a little bit more specific? Try and think about it in terms of how is your client going to measure the success of following your program? And that usually relates to their symptoms.
Awesome. Okay. And one more thing before I get to the stars that I had written down here, guys, is that you need to get your lead magnet up and running, right? So this wasn't just a fun little exercise where you create a lead magnet and do nothing with it. You need to get your lead magnet up and running, ready for download so that people can download it. So make sure if you haven't taken that step yet, you go ahead and do that. So now let's get into our 3 stars. So our first star for week number 1 goes out to Vanessa N., who is a nutrition, fitness, and mindset coach for women over 40. So Vanessa is located in New York. And the reason why we really love Vanessa's work is because she is super clear on who her ideal client is. And she was also really clear on the problem her group program will solve for her ideal client. So she explained in her worksheet that her nutrition programs helps perimenopausal women lose stubborn weight and get their mojo back. So this sounds really simple, but it's really clear to us who she is helping and what she is helping them with. Her lead magnet was called 10 hormone balancing, protein packed and satisfying recipes for women over 40, which was really great because it says exactly what the lead magnet is. It's 10 hormone balancing, protein packed recipes, and who it's for. It's for women over 40. So everybody come into the chat box, give Vanessa a round of applause because we're really proud to see that one. Now, and Vanessa, if you're here, feel free to say hello. And next star, okay, goes out to Jane M., who is a naturopath and a massage therapist from New Zealand. So just like Vanessa, Jane made it really clear who her ideal client is and the problem her program will solve for them. And what stood out to us about Jane is that she really spoke about her ideal client in the same language that they would use, which really would resonate with them when marketing the program. So she explained, my program will give her energy to burn, bounce out of bed like before she had kids so she can get through the mornings without losing her shit, which I know some of you guys might find vulgar, and I'm sorry, but like I found that really funny as a mom myself. Like I can resonate with that, and that really speaks to me. So, and I'm sure all other moms can relate to that as well. So Jane's lead magnet was a 5 days of get up and go whole food breakfast for tired moms, which included really easy to make breakfast that moms can prepare in advance or in just a few minutes. And you can see how this type of resource would be super appealing to her ideal client. So great work, Jane. And last but certainly not least, our third star goes out to Amy H., who is a functional nutritional therapy practitioner from Oklahoma. So Amy focuses on CrossFit athletes who struggle to identify and consume quality whole food proteins to support their lean muscle mass. So her group program is designed to help her ideal clients incorporate quality whole food proteins into their diet. So her lead magnet is 3 quick, simple, high protein meals with 30 plus grams of protein, which you can see that perfectly jives with her ideal clients and the group program she will be promoting, right? So everything really flows well together. Her lead magnet is related to her ideal client, and it's related to her group program. And a side note, Amy told us that this assignment definitely pushed her outside of her comfort zone, which we know is obviously uncomfortable, but how many of you guys can relate? How many of you this week felt a bit uncomfortable with this assignment, but when you were done, you were like, oh, this is done. I can do it. I hope you kind of got that satisfaction, and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone will always make you better at the end, I can promise. Okay, now before we jump into the lesson for week number 2, I want to review the timeline of how everything's going to go down here. So last week you created and launched your lead magnet. So like I said, you need to get that up and you need to be promoting that now, okay? Like I said, this isn't a fun little assignment. This is something you're doing for real. So at this point, your lead magnet should be up. You should have a place where people can download it. And then this week, you'll continue to promote your lead magnet so that you can hit that goal you set for your lead magnet downloads, while also working on your free challenge. Then next week, we'll finalize your Irresistible offer and create your group nutrition program marketing plan. And then after that, you guys will be ready to run your free challenge, announce your Irresistible offer, and launch your paid group nutrition program. So we strongly recommend sticking to this timeline to keep yourself on track and accountable. But we spoke to a lot of you guys this week, and a lot of you guys are working with different timelines, and that is totally okay. As long as you finish out this process, that should be your main goal. So remember, overall goal of this challenge is to put a process in place that will attract your ideal clients, nourish them, and convert them into paying participants of your group nutrition program. So this is a really big goal, and every week is going to be broken down into micro goals. So last week, your goals were to get clear on the details of your group nutrition program and to create and launch a lead magnet to attract your ideal clients. So those were your goals for last week. Let us know in the chat or in the comments if you're tuning in on Facebook, how many of you guys achieved the goals for week number 1? Yes, okay. You guys scared me there. There was like a awkward silence for a bit in the chat box. So I see, okay, perfect. All those yeses are rolling in. So a lot of you guys completed that. I know a lot of you guys are like halfway there. So really try to aim to get the rest of that done today, because guys, we're moving full speed ahead and we've got new goals coming at you today. So let's talk about those goals. This week, week 2, your first goal is to continue to promote the lead magnet you created last week and continue to grow your email list full of your ideal clients. Then your second goal is to create a free challenge that will nourish the leads on your email list. So just because someone opted into your mailing list does not mean that they trust you or that they're ready to buy from you. So you need to really earn that trust. And that's what we're going to cover this week. That's what this week is all about. Nourishing your leads so that you can convert them into paying clients. Nourish is a key step between attracting and converting. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to Ashley so we can dive into week number 2. Give us a yes in the chat box if you are ready to tackle week 2.
All right, guys, I see so many yeses. Amazing. So let's do this. Like Abigail just explained, week 2 is Nourish week, and you are going to nourish the leads on your email list by running a free challenge for them. And good news, the work that you've already done is going to help because you are going to use your lead magnet to do this. So there are 2 types of people, guys, who are going to download your lead magnet. The first type of person is that person who's going to download your lead magnet, understand it, love it, start working through it, experimenting with the different benefits you designed it for, and getting all the results that you promised to them, okay? And then the second type of person is the person who's going to download it, open it, scan through it, close it, and then never look at it again. Let us know in the chat, which of those 2 groups do you think the majority are going to fall into? Are they going to use your lead magnet and get all the benefits, or group 2? All right, I see so many scan and dump. Yes. So if you're saying group 2, you are absolutely right. The reality is that no matter how good your lead magnet is, most people will download it and do nothing with it. This is because they need a bit of hand-holding and support to work through it. And the best way to do this is to run a free challenge where you're challenging them to actually follow it and giving them support and accountability to do that. So I know that a lot of you guys are probably thinking, okay, you want me to run a free challenge now after I just created a lead magnet? Like, what are you guys doing? This is so much work. But the good news is that running a free challenge really doesn't have to be complicated, and you've actually already done the majority of the work by creating your lead magnet. So you already know who your ideal client is. You already know the problem that your group program is going to solve for them. You've already created an irresistible lead magnet that is related to your group nutrition program. So now you simply need to announce to your list and community that you are taking your lead magnet and offering a free 5-day challenge where you challenge them to actually follow it.
Okay, so just like last week where we asked you to get clear on the details of your group program, this week we're going to ask you to get clear on the details of your free challenge. So clarity is really important. To get to where you want to go, you need a clear picture of where you're going. So step number 1 is to decide on the dates of your free challenge. So we recommend starting your challenge on a Monday and ending it on a Friday. This way you can use the week before to promote your free challenge and the weekend to encourage your participants to do their prep. Then you're ready to rock come Monday morning. Then step number 2 is to determine how people will sign up for your free challenge. So we want to offer you 2 options to do this, one that requires 0 tech skills and one that does require tech. So the first option would be to simply have people email you to register. So send them the challenge content when they email you. This option is great for those of you guys who can't bear of thinking of setting up another landing page and you want to keep things super simple. The con of this approach of having people email you is that it's not automated, right? So if you had a lot of people opting into your challenge, you're going to be sending a lot of emails with the challenge content. So keep that in mind. The second option is to set up a dedicated landing page for your challenge and have people register there so that when people are interested in registering for your challenge, you have a link that you can send them and they can register there. So this is a great option for those of you guys who have more experience with setting up landing pages or want a more automated solution. Okay, on to step number 3. That's to outline what your challenge includes. So we asked you to do this with your your paid program last week. This week, we want you to do it with your free challenge. So your free challenge will most definitely include either a 5-day meal plan or a recipe guide, an itemized grocery list maybe, and recipes. Remember, this is what you created last week on That Clean Life. You might also want to offer some extras with your free challenge, like maybe a private Facebook group, daily check-ins, daily lessons, goal setting, daily progress reporting, group coaching calls, stuff like that. However, Remember, guys, that running your challenge by guiding your participants through a 5-day meal plan or recipe book is more than enough. You don't want to offer too many things in your free challenge, as then your paid group program might not look as appealing if they already got all of that for free, right? So if you're going to offer the optional add-ons that I just listed out with your free challenge, maybe just pick 1 or 2 at the absolute most. Next step is to decide how you will communicate with your challenge participants on a daily basis. So will this happen in a Facebook group? Are you going to keep in touch with them via email? Or maybe you'll use your client management software like Practice Better. So knowing how you will communicate with your participants is really important. So we want you to decide that now. And then the last step of our free challenge planning process is to outline what your challenge will cover on a day-to-day basis. So we want you to write out the days of the week in a calendar format and map out what you will cover, or in other words, how are you going to keep your clients engaged on a daily basis? So here's an example. Let's say I'm running a 5-day sugar-free challenge and I am communicating with my participants through a private Facebook group. On the Saturday before my challenge begins, I will do a post reminding my participants to do their shopping and meal prep, and I'll share some tips for that. Then on Sunday, I'm going to ask my participants to share photos of their grocery haul or their meal prep. I'll also share one of mine to get that conversation started. Monday, I'll cover hydration. Why is this so important and how to stay hydrated? Tuesday, I'll do a mini lesson on cravings, including what they are and how to deal with them. On Wednesday, I'll do a midweek check-in just to see how everybody's feeling so far and start some conversation around that. Thursday, I'll share tips to help my members through their biggest obstacles. And Friday, I'll congratulate everyone for making it to the last day of the challenge, and I'll present my Irresistible limited time offer to join my upcoming paid group nutrition program. And we're going to talk more about that Irresistible offer soon. So all of the communication for my program, my pretend program here that you guys are seeing, is going to happen in my Facebook group. So this is how I'm going to keep the members engaged on a daily basis. And planning out your daily challenge content like this is really important, because this way you're never left wondering how to keep your participants engaged. You have it all planned out in advance. You know exactly what you're talking about on a daily basis. And remember, guys, this plan isn't written in stone. Depending on the questions that come up from your participants, you can always pivot the content to that so that it speaks to their needs. So if you find that everybody's struggling with this one issue, then you might want to schedule that in to talk about one day.
Okay, so before we move on, we want to talk about your ability to communicate the value of your free challenge. And this is important because so many times we see health professionals running really well planned out programs, but their inability to explain why people should participate totally prevents them from getting the signups that they deserve. And this completely breaks our heart when we see this happen. So you guys really need to be able to communicate the value of your free challenge so that it is clear to people why they need this challenge in their lives and what it will help them achieve. So we're going to go over some examples, because we love examples of free challenges and how we would communicate their value so you can really understand how this looks. So example 1, let's say that your paid program is an 8-week weight loss program for new moms. And let's say that your lead magnet / free challenge is the 5-day healthy breakfast smoothie challenge for new moms. So you designed this to help them start their day with a nutritious, filling breakfast. Here's how you might introduce or announce the challenge to your email list and on social media. You might say, introducing the 5-day healthy breakfast smoothie challenge for new moms. I know that as a busy mom, getting in a healthy breakfast can be hard. So you skip it and you end up hungry, irritable, and overeating. This challenge will help you break that cycle once and for all. The 5-day healthy breakfast smoothie challenge begins on Monday, August 31st and runs until Friday, September 4th. It is designed for new moms who want to get back to feeling themselves again in their bodies. The challenge is 100% free, and here's what you get. a 5-day healthy, delicious smoothie plan, delicious smoothie recipes, an itemized grocery list, access to a private Facebook group for support, community, and connection, and daily check-ins and tips from me. At the end of this challenge, you will be in the routine of putting together delicious breakfast smoothies that keep you full all morning and help you reach your weight loss goals. Here's how to sign up. So I could easily send this out to my mailing list as an email. I could put a fun photo with it and post it on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media you're using. That's one example. Let's go over another one. I'll turn it over to Abigail for number two.
Okay, so I'll do this one. Let's say your paid group program is a 6-week transition to plant-based eating for cancer survivors, and your free challenge is called the Super Simple 5-Day Plant-Based Meal Plan for Cancer Survivors, which you've designed to help your ideal client get started with a plant-based diet without getting overwhelmed. So here's how you might introduce your free challenge to your audience. Introducing the Super Simple 5-Day Plant-Based Meal Plan for Cancer Survivors. Getting a cancer diagnosis is one of the most difficult things you will ever go through. Changing your diet is necessary, but it shouldn't add stress to your life. I'm here to help you transition to a plant-based diet in a way that's delicious and fun. Introducing the Super Simple 5-Day Plant-Based Meal Plan for Cancer Survivors. The challenge begins on Monday, September 7th and ends on Friday, September 11th. Give me just 5 days and I'll show you how easy plant-based living will be. When you sign up for this free challenge, you will get a delicious and fun 5-day plant-based meal plan, tons of plant-based recipes, including breakfast, lunches, dinners, and snacks, an itemized grocery list to make shopping a breeze, a prep guide to keep you organized and on track, a private Facebook group to connect with myself and others going through the same things as you, and daily actionable tips on plant-based eating from me. So are you ready to commit? It is 100% free and it could change your life. Register here. Again, guys, you could send something like this out through email, put a photo on social to promote it, and then include the link. So when it comes to creating the content of your free challenge, remember that the bulk of your work is already done since you're using your lead magnet. However, we do want you to revamp your lead magnet a little to make it more challenge specific. So Ashley's going to take you into that clean life and show you how you would take the lead magnet that you created last week and revamp it into something perfect for a challenge.
All right, guys, so let me get my screen share fired up here. And can you see everything okay, Abby?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, perfect. So I know that this is a lot of information and you've already done so much work last week. So I'm really hoping that this quick demo that I'm going to show you guys today will really ease any anxiety that you're having about creating all these new resources, because it's actually so easy to turn your lead magnet into a free challenge. So if you are just joining us, I'm not going to take you through all of that clean life today. So maybe watch the replay from week 1. What we're going to be doing today is I'm going to pop into the planner and I'm going to head right back to the lead magnet that I created last week. So last week I created a 5-day iron boosting meal plan for vegans. And my ideal client is a vegan who's struggling with anemia and worrying that, you know, it's their plant-based diet and their doctors and their family members are telling them maybe you should eat meat. They don't need to eat meat. I'm going to help them. So I've got this 5-day meal plan. It's got breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. It is high in iron, which you can see from checking the nutrition analysis here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to rename this. So I'm going to click Edit Plan, and that's going to let me change the name of this plan. So instead of calling it the 5-day iron boosting meal plan for vegans, I'm going to change it to the 5-day iron boosting challenge for vegans. And that's all I'm going to change. So it's a 5-day challenge. I'm going to edit that. Now, if you had created a recipe book, you can turn it into a meal plan. So if I head over to my collections, I had a 6-recipe or 5-recipe recipe book, Iron Boosting Recipes for Vegans with Anemia. So what I did was actually just drop these into a plan. So you can create a new plan and add the recipes to the plan. You can add breakfast, lunches, dinners, side dishes if you want to pick which days you're going to add those in. So those are your 2 options. You either head to your collection, you drop the recipes into a meal plan and then fill in any gaps. Or if you had created a meal plan, which a lot of you guys did for your lead magnet, you just head back into the planner and rename it. And then you are going to use similar brief to what you used last week. So you're going to export. Again, you can decide what you want to include here. I'm going to include nutrition. I'll take out the notes. I will select a cover image. Now, last week I had saved a snippet called my lead magnet introduction. What I did was I took that and I just made some tweaks to it to make it more challenge specific instead of just a general lead magnet. I already saved that, and then I'm going to click on export. So let me show you guys how this is going to look for your challenge. So this is going to take even less time than making your lead magnet because you're just re-exporting it, repurposing that content as a free challenge. So I've got my 5-day iron boosting challenge for vegans. Now, let's talk about what goes into an introduction for a challenge specifically, okay? A lot of you guys nailed your introductions last week, by the way. Like, shout out to those of you guys who wrote some amazing lead magnet introductions. Remember, the key points are that you want to introduce yourself, you want to let them know who you help, how you help, and why you created this specific resource, and end it with a call to action. So a lot of you guys hit all of those points, which is amazing. So same kind of deal here. So I used my original introduction and tweaked it a little bit. So I'm saying, welcome to the 5-day iron boosting challenge for vegans. Over the next 5 days, I'm challenging you to combat your anemia with a whole food, plant-based diet. We will be kicking fatigue, brain fog, hair loss, and muscle weakness to the curb for good. The next 5 days will be all about eating high iron foods and combining them with nutrients that increase the absorption and transportation of iron. You will get daily pro tips to increase iron and boost your energy, nutrition lessons so you can be confident when your family members ask if being vegan is making you tired, and community support to keep you accountable. My name is Wendy. I'll be your guide throughout this challenge. I'm a plant-based nutritionist, and I help vegans identify the missing nutrients in their diet and teach them how to get balanced nutrition without animal products. This meal plan is high in iron and complementary nutrients like vitamin C, which will help you boost your iron levels. It also includes a shopping list, so you will only buy what you need to eat healthy, high iron vegan meals over the next 5 days. Plan to buy your ingredients the weekend before we start. I will be sending you a reminder on October 30th and meal prep tips in the Facebook group. This is where you can ask questions and get answers. I will also be going live in our Facebook group every day at 1 p.m. for a 15-minute nutrition lesson. On Monday, we'll talk high iron vegan foods. Tuesday, nutrients to improve absorption and transportation. Wednesday, foods that block iron. Thursday, root causes of anemia. And Friday, tracking your iron for long-term success. This challenge starts on Monday, November 2nd and runs until Friday, November 6th. Join our challenge Facebook group here. So that gives them everything they need to understand what the challenge is, who it's for, how it works, where to go to get resources, and what to expect from you in terms of follow-up, right? You're going to be emailing them before the challenge with reminders, and then they've got their 5-day meal plan that they're going to be following, nutrition analysis if they want to keep an eye on how much iron they are getting, shopping list, and the recipes. So again, this is all repurposed from the lead magnet that I created last week, right? And for those of you guys who had started with a recipe book, let me just really quickly show you how this looks. So you would create a new plan, call it the 5-day iron boosting challenge for vegans. You're starting from scratch with a completely empty plan, and it is so easy to just head over to that collection tab where you had originally put all of your high iron recipes or whatever recipes you were creating for your recipe book. And then you can, from right here, add them to the plan. So I can say I want 3 servings. I want it for breakfast on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so they can meal prep these overnight oats. I want the chili lime tempeh bowls for dinner, 2 servings, so that they can have leftovers for lunch the next day. So again, this should take you maybe a total of 10 minutes, guys. Really, really easy to do this. And then when you head back to the planner, it's going to be the same exact process. So you're just going to export it, include what you want to include, pick a cover image, write your introduction for your challenge, and then download that, and you can send that to everybody who downloaded your lead magnet. So all of those people who were the read it and close it and never look at it again, kind of forget about it people, you're re-engaging them and you're inviting them to actually put this into action with your free challenge. Before I close out my screen share, were there any questions that I should answer while I still have this up?
I don't think there was any questions related to, nope, you're good.
Cool, save it for the Q&A at the end then, and I will close out my screen share.
Okay, I'm gonna take us back in here. Okay guys, so now your free challenge content is ready to go. It was really easy because you just took your lead magnet and you revamped it. And this is the package you will send to participants when they register. So if you're having people email you to register, you just respond to their registration email and send them the PDF as an attachment. And then if you're having people register through a landing page, you can set up an automated email to go out when they sign up, along with the download link for your challenge PDF. Okay guys, so you've planned out all the details of your group nutrition program. You know how to communicate the value of this free challenge. We've gone over lots of great examples, and you have your challenge content all ready to go. So now what? So now it is time to craft your irresistible limited time offer. This is what is going to convert your participants into paying clients of your group nutrition program. And this is arguably the most important piece of the attract, nourish, and convert process. So your irresistible limited time offer might be a discount, like a certain dollar amount, or it might be a % off the price of your program. Or it could be a bonus, which is a perk for signing up, like a bonus customized meal plan or recipe book, or a bonus one-on-one session. Regardless of whether your offer is a discount or a bonus, it must be time sensitive, meaning that this offer will only be available for a short amount of time. So we really recommend 48 hours, and it has to be something your client's going to find irresistible, hence the irresistible offer part, right? So this offer should be something that makes it a no-brainer for your ideal client to take out their card and register for your group program. They should be saying, oh, I get this too. Heck yes, I am signing up right now. So let's go over some examples of what your irresistible limited time offer might sound like. So you could say, for those of you who participated in my free challenge this week, when you sign up for my upcoming 8-week weight loss program for new moms in the next 48 hours, I will create a 1-week customized meal plan just for you, free of charge. Or maybe you say, when you sign up for my upcoming program, the 6-week transition to plant-based eating for cancer survivors in the next 48 hours, I will gift you with an incredible bonus recipe book with 20 powerful anti-inflammatory recipes. Or here's another example. When you sign up for my upcoming 4-week healthy hormones program for women with PCOS, you will receive an $100 discount. So instead of paying $400 to register, you only pay $300. This is a great example of a discount, whereas those first two I went over, those were bonuses. So once you have decided on your irresistible limited time offer, you should also decide on how you will announce it. So we want you to plan to announce your irresistible limited time offer to your participants on the last day of your free challenge. And then you're going to plan to communicate it multiple times over the course of that 48-hour period. So for example, if you're using a Facebook group, you announce it in your Facebook group, and then you send out an email at 48 hours, 24 hours, and 2 hours from the expiry. So we're going to talk more about presenting your irresistible limited time offer next week. But for now, we want you to work on just crafting this offer, figuring out what this irresistible offer should be.
Okay, so in the meantime, we want you to set a goal for how many people you want to register for your free challenge. So this goal should be relative to the goal that you set for the number of signups of your lead magnet, and also the number of signups for your group nutrition program that you're hoping for, right? You've already set both of those goals. You just need to set a goal for your challenge now as well. So for example, let's say that your goal is to get 25 signups in your group nutrition program, and you want to get 100 downloads on your lead magnet. If that's the case, you might want to aim to have at least 70 people convert into participants of your free challenge. So that might seem like a lot of people, but it's a free offering, so the conversion rate should be high. Also, it's really fun to manage a larger group of people if it's your first time doing something like that and they're not paying for it. So it's a great way to get practice. The more people that you can get to opt into your challenge, the more people you are going to have to nourish and possibly convert into paying participants of your group program, right? So aim high with this one. Aim high with all your goals, but especially with this one. And last but not least, we want you to create a 1-week marketing plan for your free challenge. So you need to hit that goal. How are you going to hit it? You need to tell people about your free challenge. You need to tell them about it over and over and over again to get lots of signups. So get organized now by creating a marketing plan so that when promo week rolls around, you know exactly how you are going to promote the challenge and you already have a plan laid out for that. There are so many ways that you can promote a free challenge, and during the week of promotion, you should be talking about your free challenge pretty much every single day across pretty much every single platform. So get those on your email list to sign up. That is the first and foremost audience that's going to be participating in this free challenge. Talk about your free challenge on social media as well. Ask those who have registered to invite their friends and family to join, because a challenge is always fun when you can do it with more people. I saw a question earlier in the chat about if it's okay to ask people to share it with their friends and family. Yes, absolutely. Always, always ask for referrals. You can host a Facebook Live or Instagram Live about the challenge. Tell people why it's going to be so awesome, why they should sign up, where they can sign up, all the information that they're going to need. And also never be afraid to reach out to people individually who you think would benefit from the challenge. If you're getting started and a lot of your clients are still coming from your inner circle, reach out to those people in your inner circle who you think would be a great fit for it, or who you know would be really great people to share it with their inner circle. So don't be shy. Definitely use a little networking in your promotion strategy as well. And just like you did last week, write out a 1-week calendar and write down what you will do on a daily basis to promote your free challenge, just like you did for your lead magnet. Okay, so that is all for week 2, guys. We this week are focusing on nourishing, and then next week we are going to be covering convert and everything that you have to do to get those signups for your group program.
Okay, guys, so let's go over your homework for this week. First, we want you to complete the free challenge worksheet, which we sent you before this class, and we're going to send it to you again after this class via email, so that you guys should all have it. And if you don't, reach out to support@thatcleanlife.com and we can get it to you. So that's the first piece of the homework, complete the worksheet. And then we want you to make your lead magnet more challenge specific and export it from That Clean Life as a PDF. Then in one single email, please only send us one email that contains 2 attachments. One is your worksheet and one is your challenge PDF, okay? So we beg you guys, please, just one email with both attachments in one email. It makes our life a lot easier. We ask you to submit both of these pieces to coach@thatcleanlife.com if you're in the group who wants to receive feedback. We know some of you guys aren't members of That Clean Life and aren't looking for feedback, which is totally cool, and you're just following along with this challenge, and we love you guys and we support you guys too. So feel free to keep doing that if that's what you're doing. But if you want feedback and you're a member of That Clean Life, by all means, send it to us, coach@thatcleanlife.com. The deadline to submit your homework is Monday, October 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. As soon as 5 p.m. hits, we won't be marking anything past that cutoff. So make sure you get your homework in on time, preferably ahead of time, guys, because I know a lot of you guys waited till last minute yesterday. You're just getting your feedback back today. And that makes it a bit harder to stay on track with the timeline. So the sooner you can get your homework to us, the better, the more time we have to mark it. And next week, we'll announce the 3 stars of week number 2 again. So this will be based on your homework submissions. We'll be going over them as a team, and we'll be picking 3 more new stars, and you guys will get shout outs at next week's class. So stars will be awarded based on participation in the weekly trainings, creativity, and quality of your homework submission. So that's all for week number 2, guys. Again, if you have any questions, you can email us anytime, support@thatcleanlife.com, and we can help you out there. Otherwise, you guys have a lot of work to do, and we're going to do a Q&A now as well. So I see that the chat is really busy. Ashley, could you stop my screen share and we could, oh, never mind. My button just popped up. I can apparently do it. No, it just went away.
Do you want your camera on?
Yeah, let's turn our cameras on and we can do a little QA.
All right, I can send you a request to start your video. There we go.
Okay, awesome. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Q&A session of today's training. So I see the chat box is a bit busy. I haven't been able to see it for like the last 10 minutes, so I don't really know what's happening in the chat box. So we're gonna ask you any questions you have unanswered. Please feel free to pop those into the Q&A box in Zoom. And if you're on Facebook, I have that open here. Feel free to drop your questions into the comments and I'll keep an eye on that as well. But the chat, just use that for general chit chat back and forth because things tend to get lost in there, whereas the Q&A box, we can clearly see your questions. So we're gonna get into your Q&A now. Again, we're gonna be pulling questions from the Q&A box, so drop them in there for us, guys.
All right.
So Ashley, do you wanna get started?
Yeah, and just for logistics, I'm going to start at the top because it's actually just filling up now. So we didn't have a bunch of questions from the beginning. So first question is from Marcia, and she's asking, how many problems should we solve? So I think this is related to what we mentioned at the beginning in terms of getting clarity with your lead magnet. And you might know as a health professional, guys, that you solve a ton of problems. Like you might know that a person with high estrogen has all kinds of different symptoms. You have to be able to communicate one problem to potential clients. And if you're not sure about that, think about the clients that you've had in the past and why did they come to you? What was the one thing that they needed help with? That's probably the problem that you should be solving in your marketing because it's obviously what is top of mind for your potential clients.
Okay, next question is from Martha. Martha's saying, this coming Monday is Thanksgiving in Canada. Would you suggest to start the free challenge the following Monday? Yes, don't start your challenge on a holiday Monday or even like a day after a holiday weekend because people are usually just kind of like in a different mindset. So start it on a Monday that doesn't fall after a long weekend. That's a good question.
A question from Hannah. I'm still not super clear on making a place for people to download my program. I have everything else, just not completely sure how to make it downloadable. I think, Hannah, that you mean your lead magnet. So you'll need to set up what's called a landing page for that. There's lots of different tools you can use to create a landing page. MailChimp has a free one. There's ConvertKit, all kinds of other things. So if you're really stuck, just Google like quick, easy way to make a landing page, and I'm sure that you'll find some tutorials there.
Next question is from Marcia. Wasn't the lead magnet for the free challenge? So I saw a lot of questions coming up about this in the chat box too. Yes, guys, what we're asking you to do is take your lead magnet and revamp it into something that you can use for your free challenge. So I hope we're all crystal clear on that. it's just going to save you some time because you've already put in the time to create it last week and we already provided you feedback on that. So now that you've got feedback on it and you're going to create something that's super awesome for your ideal client, you can take it and tweak it a bit. You can add a new brief like Ashley showed you and make it really challenge specific. So yes, you're taking your lead magnet and you're turning it into a challenge. So I hope that makes sense.
Jill was asking, and Jill, I think you might have asked that question while I was doing the demo. If you made a recipe book versus a 5-day meal plan, how do you structure the 5-day free challenge? So hopefully I answered that question okay with the demo. For those of you guys who made a recipe book, you go to your collections tab. Well, first you go to your planner tab, create a new meal plan, then go to your collections tab, add the recipes into a meal plan and fill in any gaps. So if you only did breakfast recipes for your recipe book, add some lunches, dinners, snacks, and boom, you have a free challenge.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, you could also provide them with a blank template that they could create their own meal plan with. So that is included in our, there's a snippet within that Clean Life that's called Meal Plan Guide, I believe. And in that has a blank meal planning template. So if you don't want to put the recipes onto a planner, another option is to provide them with a recipe book and then give them a blank template and teach them how to plug these recipes in to create their own breakfast meal plan or their own lunch meal plan or their own dinner meal plan. So I hope that is helpful. Next question is from Jane. Can you do the challenge in a Facebook group? Absolutely. That is like when we were running challenges at that Clean Life before we kind of pivoted, we used to do them in Facebook groups and that worked really well for us. Most people are on Facebook. I say most because, you know, there's an odd person who's not, but we found it was a really great place that everybody was already a member of anyways. Most people have Facebook logins, so it made it really easy to invite them to the group.
Jordana's asking, how do you provide a grocery list if it's just a recipe book, or should we not include one? So if it's a recipe book and you created it within your collections tab in that Clean Life, it won't contain a recipe book or a shopping list because it's only a recipe book. So we don't know how many servings they're going to be making. We don't know how much they're going to be eating. If you want a shopping list, you can create it in your planner with the recipes, and then you can just deselect the actual meal plan from being included. So it's just recipes and a shopping list. But for your free challenge, if they're doing their own meal planning, like Abigail just mentioned, you're not going to need a shopping list. So you probably don't have to worry about that.
Deb is asking, so are you creating a separate Facebook group for each specific free or paid challenge? No, you don't need to create separate Facebook groups. You should have just one Facebook group that you use for everything and that you keep building. You should only be working on building one Facebook group. And if it's a Facebook group that you use for another program, you might be like, oh, but like there's people in this group that aren't participating in my free challenge. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't, like those people are just, it's only a free advertisement for you, for those people who aren't participating to see all the value you're providing. So it'll only give them FOMO, fear of missing out. So don't worry about creating a new group every time and trying to keep only specific people in it or kicking people out of it. Just think of it as an advertisement for your business.
Perfect. Okay, I saw that question again in the Q&A box, so hopefully that answers that for you guys. Deb's asking, if you created a recipe book, for example, with snacks, do you create a plan? Oh, okay. A meal plan with only snacks, or do you add other meals? So yeah, kind of like we mentioned, you can fill in the gaps if you want to make it a full meal plan for the challenge, or you can just give them a snack recipe book with a meal planning template that they can use, and you can sort of focus it on snacks. I hope that, you know, it's not getting lost here, guys, that you can absolutely run a free challenge that is focused on one meal of the day. You can absolutely do that, like the example that we gave with a smoothie challenge. And then you're focusing just on, you know, breakfast, on smoothies. People are posting their recipes of their healthy smoothies or their healthy snacks. It's absolutely an option to get hyper-focused and just do one meal of the day if that's what makes sense and feels good to you.
Okay, I saw a couple questions, and this is gonna bother me, so I just want to take you back into the app to show you two things really quickly. So I'm gonna start my screen share. Ashley, can you just confirm that you can see the app okay?
Yes, I can see that okay.
Okay, so some of you guys were asking about how to include that snippet that has the blank meal planning template. So I'm just going to click export. I'm going to scroll down to my brief, and where it says snippet, I'm going to view all. And there is a snippet under templates that's called, it's called Client Recipe Book Introduction, I believe. So I'm going to click on that and apply it. And in this snippet, you're going to see this sentence that says, if you like to write out your own weekly meal plan to stay organized, you can print a blank meal plan template here. And we've linked that for you. So we have a blank meal planning template built into that snippet. So if you want to use that to encourage people of your free challenge to do their own meal planning, you can definitely use that. And then the other question was from Anthony. Ashley, do you mind reading it to me? It was in the chat. It was about turning.
From Anthony.
Do you see it?
I'm not seeing one from Anthony. Let me see if maybe it's in one of the other tabs somewhere.
Oh, I see it here.
Okay.
Okay, so he said, is there a quick way to convert a multi-week plan into a recipe book? So I don't know what you mean by like a multi-week plan. Maybe you have plans like a 3-week plan or something, but say this 5-day eating for immunity challenge. Right now it's a meal plan, right? It's a 7-day meal plan. I could easily export this from the planner as a recipe book by clicking export and then just deselecting plan. And it's totally up to you whether you want to include the list, the recipe notes, and the nutrition information. And then when I click export, it'll take that planner page away. So it'll just provide them with the recipes and a list if you want. And for those of you guys who are saying, how do I provide a list with my recipes? This is how you do it. Okay.
Okay, awesome. So next question is from Tamara, and the question is, how much time after a lead magnet is up do you promote the challenge? So we gave you guys a timeline. We gave it to you today and at the beginning of the challenge in terms of when you should be aiming to run your free challenge. So you were supposed to get your lead magnet up and start promoting it last week, continue promoting it this week, and start promoting your challenge next week. So you are putting 2 weeks in between the launch of your lead magnet and the start of the promotion of your group program. And then you run your group program in week 4. So 4 weeks after you launched your lead magnet. Hopefully that clarifies. If there's any confusion about that, we put that schedule in the slides, this week's slides, last week's slides, so you can head back to that schedule anytime you need to.
And actually, now that I'm putting things into perspective, this week is all about promoting your lead magnet, right? Next week is about promoting your free challenge. So for those of you guys in Canada, Monday, this coming Monday is a holiday Monday. So we're not asking you to start your challenge on that holiday Monday. We're asking you to start promoting your challenge, which you can absolutely do, but then you would be starting it on the following Monday, which is not a holiday Monday if you're sticking to our schedule. Next question is from Labiba. She's asking, can you use this system to host a webinar instead of a free challenge? Yeah, you could totally nourish the leads on your list through a webinar. That's totally doable, and you could present the offer at the end of your webinar. The only thing with that is that you have less time to nourish, right? So in a webinar, typically 1 hour in length, you have that hour to really help people get to know, like, and trust you. Whereas what we really love about the free challenge is you have 5 days to really show off what it is you're all about and really give people a preview of how awesome it is to work with you. So that is why we really recommend a 5-day challenge, but you could try to do it with a webinar.
Next question is from Jenna. If my program supports moms, should I set the recipes for 4 or just 1? So we're talking about serving sizes, and that's totally up to you. Actually, maybe let us know in the chat, because a lot of you guys support moms in your work. How do you do it? What do you find works best? In my experience, I just make everything for 1 and let them do the math, because it's easier to double or triple or quadruple than it is to subtract. And it's annoying when you make a recipe and you forget you're cutting it in half and then you put the full amount of one single ingredient. But maybe other people who work with moms more than I do have better advice than I do. Abigail, you're a mom. What do you like?
So I saw a really good idea come up this week, and I forgive me because I forget who it came from, but if you're here, feel free to claim this glory. She had set the servings on her meal plan as one for breakfast, to serve one for breakfast, one for lunch, and then dinner's always fed the entire family, which I loved because that's how I eat. Like, my daughter doesn't eat the same thing for breakfast and lunch, but we all sit down and eat dinner together. So it would be nice to have the serving set like that. So that's another idea of how to design meal plans for moms. But also feel free to survey your community and see what works best for them. Do they want, 4 servings for all meal plans to feed their whole family, or do they prefer like one? Ask them if you're not really sure, but those are some ideas to get you started. Next question is from Maria. Do we promote both the opt-in and challenge simultaneously? No, I guess you could, but really this week is going to be all about promoting your opt-in or your, AKA your lead magnet, right? Then next week, your focus is going to shift and you're going to be promoting your challenge. So you're not really promoting those simultaneously. You could still promote your lead magnet because everybody's probably going to end up on the same list. But like I said, this week, lead magnet promotion. Next week, you shift gears and you start your challenge promotion.
Next question, what gets the best engagement on your group challenge Facebook group for a meal plan? Best questions. I think the question is how to keep people engaged. And honestly, there's no one set of best questions because all of you guys have completely different niches, completely different ideal clients. So if you are stuck, the best place to get inspiration from is the questions that your clients ask you the most often. Those are usually the things that they're most curious about, most interested in, and also the most common roadblocks that come up in the clients that you work with. When you ask them, what are we celebrating this week? What didn't go so well this week? What comes up most often as a roadblock, and give some tips on that, because that's probably going to be most relevant to all the people that are in your free challenge.
And if you're stuck, you can always ask something super simple like, okay, it's Thursday. What's been your favorite breakfast this week that you've made? Or like, okay, it's Wednesday, it's midweek. What's been the biggest challenge you've faced this week? And then based on those responses, you can create like content for like the next 2 days because you'll know what people are really struggling with. Okay, next question is, does the challenge have to be live or can we use programs like in Practice Better? So we really recommend you run the free challenge live. We really recommend that you pick a start date and an end date because this is what gets people to commit. If you say, here's a program you can complete at any time you'd like, you guys know people aren't going to do it. Whereas you say, we are starting as a group on this day, join us. People are like, okay, I know I need to start on this day or, get off the pot. So I feel strongly about having a start and end date for your challenge and running it live. I think that's the best experience you can give to people.
Question from Allison, a couple questions like this. If I did a meal plan for my lead magnet, my challenge PDF will be very similar, right? So are people getting basically the same thing? Yes. And that's completely fine because remember, it's the people who looked at it and didn't use it that we're creating this challenge for, to get them engaged, get them to actually follow the advice that you gave them for free. So that's totally fine. No one's ever going to say, hey, Allison, like you're really just giving me a lot for free and I'm just tired of all this free support that you're offering me and I'm unsubscribing. So don't worry.
Next question is from Clarita. She's asking, where can I go to see the first class I signed up after the challenge started? If you missed the first class, if you signed up after this challenge started, just feel free to email us at support@thatcleanlife.com. Send us an email and we can send you the link to get that first class.
How long of a program do you recommend as a starter from Ralda? I think you mean for the free challenge. We definitely recommend sticking with 5 days for the free challenge. Monday to Friday is great. If you are asking about the paid program, we covered that in last week's class, so go back to that. We recommend 2 to 4 weeks for your first group program if you've never run one before. I know a lot of you guys were doing like 6-week, 8-week programs when we were looking at your homework, but that can be a lot in terms of keeping a whole group engaged. So you might want to start around 4 weeks.
Okay. Okay, this is a question from Joy. She says, Are we expecting the people in the group to make 3 meals as well as snacks every day in the challenge? No, not necessarily. If you structure your meal plan so that it uses leftovers, you could create on a Sunday, you could do a meal prep and you could create all the meals for the week in one shot. We actually have a few programs in that Clean Life meal prep programs that show you how to do that. You could even do it meal prep on a Sunday and you prepare the first few days of meals so that they're eating leftovers. So it all depends on how you structure your meal plan. And it depends on your audience too. If your community is busy moms, they're not going to want to cook every single meal at the time of the meal. They don't have time for that. So think about including breakfast, lunches that can be made ahead, snacks that can be grab and go, and then prepping lots of it at one time and then marking other meals on the plan as a leftover.
Question from Jen, to get more people to sign up for your challenge, would you recommend having prizes or is that not necessary? I don't think that that would get more people to sign up for your challenge. I think that would be more about like keeping people engaged for your challenge. I don't really think that it's necessary at all. If you did have prizes, maybe make sure they're related to your services. Like the prize is that they get a meal plan or something like that. But especially if it's your first time, I think that that's just a lot to manage. So we don't really recommend prizes.
Next question we kind of already covered. Alice is asking, her lead magnet was a breakfast recipe book and can she do a challenge with that? And the answer is yes, absolutely.
A question from Liz about a challenge intro available as a snippet. We do not have one already because guys, like your challenge is so unique to you. It's like trying to make a meal plan that's going to work for everybody in that Clean Life. So no, we don't have anything like that. You're going to have to customize that to what you're offering. I also see a question from Andrea right after that. Can we save our own snippets? Yes, you can create your own snippets and save those.
Yeah, you can do that 2 ways. You can do it right in the export dialog after you write it. You can go create snippet, or you can do it from your account preferences as well. I don't know what that one means. That one is too long. It's not a question. Somebody's asking about webinars again. We already answered that. That is not a question. Okay. Sorry guys, there's a lot of long ones and it takes me a while to pull the question out of it. Ashley, do you have any good ones that you see?
Yeah, so, oh, sorry, everything just moved around. I was kind of at the
Sorry,
bottom.
that was me.
Oh, Estrella, if you haven't started promoting the lead magnet yet, should you wait 2 weeks before starting the free challenge promotion? So yes, if you haven't started promoting your lead magnet yet, you are late. So start promoting your lead magnet ASAP. And your goal is that 2 weeks after you launch your lead magnet, you launch the promo for your challenge. So ideally, just build your email list and then turn your email list into participants of your free challenge and then turn them into participants of your group program. So make sure that you're giving enough time to hit that goal of lead magnet downloads that you set in week 1.
Okay guys, we're running out of time, so I'll just do one more question before we wrap up here. Jill's asking, do you run the same lead magnet and the same free challenge multiple times a year, or would you do a new slightly varied version each time? So we're big fans of using the same content and just making it better. So if your lead magnet is working at attracting your ideal clients and your free challenge has worked at converting them after you run through this once, you will want to repeat that process. Stick with what is working. If it didn't work out so well for you, if your lead magnet wasn't great at attracting your ideal clients, and if your free challenge didn't really convert, you're going to want to go back, ask for feedback for the people who got it, and tweak it so that it'll be better the next time you run it. But this is a process. This attract, nourish, convert process is something that you can rinse and repeat, right? You can run this like every season if you want to. So this is like something you can do over and over again. Okay, guys, that's all the time for questions we have today. I'm sorry, I know we didn't get to a lot of them. If you have any outstanding questions, feel free to email us at support@thatcleanlife.com. Remember the deadline for your homework. Don't forget about that. It is this coming Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Don't be late. We won't mark it if it's late. We won't mark it if it's incomplete. Get your stuff together, guys, and be on time and be complete with this. It makes our lives a lot easier too. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to week 2's class. I hope you got a lot out of it. And we'll see you when we grade your homework or next week for the live class. Bye, everybody.